All right. Let's see. This is not quite something that can be captured. So let's go c4. Wow. Quickly went with this move. Now I'm definitely thinking about taking just because it might expose the b file a little bit. And, you know, obviously bishop takes would be the... I said we weren't going to see this again. I mean, it's just insane to me. 1500s, just straight up blundering a rook. It's madness. When does this stop? Now, 1500 is too much. It's really too much. Let's take... Of course, we need to take this rook, but technically, we don't really need to take it right away. You should probably grab this. Now, we can play queen a4. I guess we would see rook c8. Let's try this. Knight e7. For sure, we do need to take this, but then f6 is hanging, so our pieces kind of are going to escape pretty nicely. But yeah, we have a full free rook in the corner. It's trapped, so we're not in a particular rush here. Could also do king d7, but then, yeah, we're happy to take. And in fact, even taking here will trade everything off. I'm not sure if he's deep in thought here, or perhaps not here. But he is deep in thought. Comes up with this move, which I think is a pretty decent one. Queen takes a6, hits the rook. Taking is also possible, but I think that this does make sense. And our king is safe. That's the most important thing. We must capture this. I think taking here is pretty solid. Let's see. Is there any kind of like last minute way to try to escape? I don't think so. We could take here, but doesn't do too much. Does force the queen to recapture. Effectively, at some point, this bishop will be taken. So let's trade, because trading is a good thing to do. We know that this is going down. Perhaps we would want to do something like that. We can take, but I'm kind of feeling that the tempo is going to be more important. I also really like that. So let's do this, sort of a perhaps indirect way of protecting, because I think that we're going to get a queen trade here. There's no bishop b4. And yeah, queen trade just helps win the game. We're up material, so this seems to be a way that we accomplish that. b5, we can take it. Queen e4 could be a nice move. I'm sort of preventing that. I think I'll respond with rook c1, which would protect the queen and renew the threat. But of course, he has to find this move. Now, normally knight d2 would actually be a winning idea here, but there is queen takes g2. So this is a nice move by black here. And I'm going to play a move that I classify as a mean move. Just because, yeah, well, d5, the point is no matter how you take anything here, there's going to be a queen trade. So we're effectively uncovering an exchange of queens. I'm happy to lose a pawn just to trade the queens. Put the king on a light square. Why do it with the queen when you can do it with a pawn? GG. GG. No words, guys, no words. It's still working at over 1500 ELO. Literally, like, what's going on here? We're just winning free rooks at 1500. I mean, I guess this is OP, and b4 is better than b3 because b4 tempts people to take it, or in this case, we can take on c5. Many more rook winning opportunities with b4 compared to just b3, so it does make a difference. I think I've won way more rooks in this speedrun compared to our b3 speedrun. Fianchetto only. There is a difference. Okay, got the bishop on b2. Let's play b5. Whoa, queen g5. This is defended from long range, and we're going to take a tempo on the queen now. Bishop a3, we can continue to take a tempo on the queen and prevent castling. However, I'm not quite sure that we want to do that. I don't think it's good enough. Let's go c4. I think we're just going to develop here. Taking is definitely not going to be correct. Okay, now we can take, but we run into this move, which needs some calculation. Any other move I think is no problem. Here there is knight b6, and that appears to work. So I would say we can just take this. Queen here, knight b6, just a little calculation. And if he moves the rook, we've got bishop c3, which is really nice. And there's two hanging pieces here. So he probably makes the right decision by taking that. Let's take the rook. And we can retreat with knight c7. Or we could play rook b1. What's going to be the best here? Knight b6 is really tempting. So, I mean, it forces like king d8, for example, but let's do this. Bishop e2 castle. I think that's all we need to do here. There might follow bishop b4, but I don't think that's going to be too dangerous. Let's castle. That's a high energy move for sure. Even at the cost of our a2 pawn, I think. Let's do this so we can gain some tempi. There's no knight c3. We've got this pawn hanging next. That's a threat because knight d6 can be played. And yeah, one of these knights is going to get to f7. In this case, it's the one from d6, which I like because it means that in a rare case, our knight has captured both of our opponent's rooks. And that's quite rare. When do you have one knight that's just making the rounds, taking both of your opponent's rooks in a matter of like, what, 5-6 moves? That's probably very, very rare. To play knight takes a8, and then 10 moves later, play knight takes h8 with the same knight. That feels like an achievement. Well, I don't know what it is about b4, but time and time again, People play queen f6, queen g5, queen e7. Like, they love to get this queen out for no reason at all. People are going crazy. They're not playing chess properly. The move b4 is giving them this false sense of confidence. I can't explain it. What is queen g5? Like, this is the 1400 we're talking about here. Surely they have some concept of what a good opening is. They know that this is not a good opening, but yet they're doing it because they think that this is not a good opening. And a basic move like e3 guards it. We're going to gain time with knight f3. So queen g5 is just no good. Never good to bring your queen out. And you can see how many times we were able to gain tempo attacking the queen. So it was always going to be a victory. All right, b4, bishop b2. We know what our opening moves are. I don't pre-move this because, you know, someone could play a5 or something. Of course, it's not smart to pre-move that, even though it feels like, you know, 98% of the time it's going to be your next move. I definitely don't think it should be pre-moved. Okay, and there's the a5 move we were talking about. We will play b5 here. I think c4, knight c3, knight f3. These are all the standard moves for us. Okay, I think bishop e2. Let's go d4. Feels like good timing with the knight maybe going here. Then, of course, short castle. All part of our plan here. What would be some other useful moves? We've often seen queen b3. In this case, perhaps queen c2, a little bit more modest. Also, rook to e1 looks pretty good. Let's go for this. Okay, f5, yeah. It feels like a rook on d1 could be pretty good. Hard to say which one, but I'm thinking that this rook has a future on e1, so perhaps we'll use this rook instead. Queen e8's a nice move. I think now knight d5 is calling. We don't really want to take this. And here, there's a very nice recapture. So I am thinking about this. If you take, then maybe the c pawn is also loose. So we'll probably see something like rook c8. Bishop d8. Okay, very nice move. I think I might just continue with this. Just kind of wait and see what he wants to do here. Queen g6. So this does allow me to win a pawn in the center. And I'm not seeing any downside to that, so I think I'm just going to go straight for it. Perhaps my next move in that game, if maybe he didn't play this, was going to be bishop f1, knight d2 to trade that knight off. But as it happens, things worked out here. We win the center pawn. We are hitting this. And knight e7 is a huge threat if that bishop is ever not there. Okay. I mean, perhaps this is the idea, but I don't think that's going to be nearly enough for this to work. I mean, it's just one check, right? We have a lot of ways to deal with that. In fact, the best way to deal with it... oh, he's going to go rook e8 instead. Yeah, this is a bit of a weird move. Kind of a... I don't know if panic is the right word, but... definitely not a move that was too logical. Felt like because he lost the pawn, all of a sudden my opponent felt they needed to sack and create something, but that was not the right idea. Bishop f3, we're going to play g3, especially if that check happens. There's just not really anything for my opponent to do here. Bishop f3 sets a lot of things up. This one, of course, there's this, but we don't want to allow anything like that. So immediately I'm going to play bishop f3 to oppose the bishop. And this should be all that's needed here. we got a fork there, and this trade does not really do anything. Let's take that. It's a nice way to not lose more material. Now, takes here is a way, maybe with queen d5 at the end of the line. You think that you're doing something, but actually could be making a mistake. Queen d5, taking advantage of the pin. So I am a little bit curious. Oh, unfortunately, that's not going to be the move. I was going to say I'm a little bit curious if black's going to play that line. So it would be impressive. Yeah, this is going to be very much in white's favor. Got 2 extra pieces now. Not a bad game, certainly. Let's give a check, because no matter which way you go, there's going to be something in the position. And now we just have a checkmate here. It's only one move. Queen f6, and then queen c8. King is stuck, so queen d8 and take. And that will be the end of the game. A little bit of a better game here. Certainly no hanging pieces. Let's say a voluntary sack. That was more of like a, I don't know, desperation, misjudgment. I don't view that the same as just a hanging piece. But in these games where it feels like black's playing pretty solid, everything's defended, we have our space with b4, b5. That's the difference because of our opening. And then we pretty much have this set up literally every single time. There's no difference. All it did was bring the rooks to the middle. This is the most habits game ever. Took a free pawn in the center, and then our opponent sacked a piece. I mean, what do you want me to do? It's really simple. All right, b4, bishop b2, hitting the center. We've seen this before. And let's go for c4, knight c3. We've kind of played this quite a number of times. Okay, and then we have seen this before. It always becomes tempting to consider knight g5 in these moments. Perhaps this one would be a bit better. Okay, a5, we're going to play b5. And I definitely think better than this is to take with the knight. This move stops knight c6, but the knight's going to develop anyway. I prefer this, where there's a weak pawn on the b file now. I think this is the correct way to do things. Now, if we play d4, I think it's going to be taken, and black's going to play d5. Still a good position for us, but maybe we can start with this. Rook here, bishop f5, d3. That should be okay. All right, well, I'm going to play this. Bishop f5, we're just going to take the knight. Okay, now definitely, I think d4 does make good sense. It stops knight c5. We can play knight g5, but, you know, after bishop f5, I'm a little worried that this knight doesn't have anywhere to go. So I think retreating it is just fine here. Our knight's on a pretty good square on b5. I think c5 looks good. We could leave it there. We could capture. A little bit spoiled for choice here. But something about this, I would say, just doesn't yet feel right. Let's bring the rest of the pieces into the action. This knight on a6, I think, is the difference maker. It's not a good piece. Here, let's trade these. Okay, I don't think we need to get out of the pin, but I think it's a good habit to do so. So we will. Queen b3. And we're getting that imbalance that we've seen so many times before, where we play this opening and we have the extra pawn in the center. Our opponent has an extra b pawn. I feel like that always favors us. Here, let's take, bring a rook over. There's an immediate threat that needs an answer. So We're going to see that one. Taking this pawn, possible, ill-advised. I think all of that is true. Okay, let's play. I think knight back is probably the way to go here. Definitely we need to watch these two squares. So this, I don't think makes a threat here. Just, yeah, examining. I don't think so. So let's take. Probably we're going to see bishop here. And I mean, unless something absolutely crazy happens, I don't think we're getting mated with just this arrangement. Also, this is a hanging bishop here. Perhaps even knight takes f2. I might even take the bishop, for example. It feels like that's the idea. I think that knight back is the way to go. It keeps things defended. Definitely looks like the more dangerous looking move. You know, it covers the e pawn on e4. So I think that's definitely correct. Let's see what gets decided. Okay, very nice move here. Definitely thinking about sacrificing there. I may just stop in and attack this bishop just to see how it gets handled. We really have to watch out for this. And we're living on the edge. I think queen here. And now our queen kind of joins the game, I hope, back in civilization. You can also play queen d7 here. I'm expecting knight d5. Let's wait and see. This threat can be well dealt with by knight d5. Let's go queen d7, actually. I like the threat. We'll double. And I think let's go here. I was going to say, I think the move queen d5 is going to be our bail move here. Regarding this pawn, I think it's a queen d5 next, especially on a move like bishop e1, which is a really great behind the back move. So we talked about queen d5. We're going to play it anyway. And we always have this move. Funny, knight h1. GG. It's refreshing to see a good game. Queen d5 was my move that, for me, I knew that was going to save me. One of those moves that I put in the unfair category because it sucks. These moves really annoy me when I'm on the attack, and it's like, to be honest, you've won material, you've played a good move, but this takes the sting out of the attack. And all of a sudden, there's not going to be a way that I lose the game on the board in time. So it is going to come down to time scramble. These moves annoy the hell out of me, especially when I'm on the attack like this. It's like, you know you've done everything right, but there's no way to keep all the material on the board. Now, I think right around here, you look at the pawns and you can only be satisfied, right? Center pawn, protected, pass pawn, backwards, you know, a little bit of a weakness. If the pawn was on a7, it would even be stronger, but it's not. So really everything good here. And then it feels like taking, you know, we maybe could have done this and then queen here. And then it was really a4. I feel like a4 was well capitalized on by black because even though white still kind of maintains the lead, takes the pawn, black all of a sudden shifts the pieces with great coordination, and suddenly you're looking at playing defense. Now the reality is, okay, probably this is just the move, but But you know, who likes to play these positions? They're always, you know, they're always a bit annoying. I think we'd all agree there. So white will be fine here with either one of these moves, but it's not great. Not nice to play defense like that. So perhaps in hindsight, h3 could be good. In hindsight, taking the knight activated the queen, so rook c1 might be just fine. I think those moves would reduce the danger. Now, we still aren't really getting mated after h3, but opponent took a think and played a great move here, which I was saying. I hope that we see knight f6, because a lot of people don't show the resilience of simply playing the best move. They look here, they see low time, and they're like, oh, I gotta like go all out. Knight takes f2. We saw that actually in a previous game. So I'm thankful that the opponent didn't do that and just played a good move. Knight f6. It's okay to go backwards. Maybe you have a threat of bishop takes h3. So I thought that was good to see. There's always more to review when someone plays a good game. So far, the opening seems to be easy to follow. At least I hope so. When attacked, b5. Pretty much same pieces on the same squares every time. Go for d4. That's pretty much it. That's 10 to 15 moves without too much thought. Oh, the worst move to pre-move against b4. And we're just going to play d4. And yeah, effectively, we're playing a regular game here with a healthy extra pawn. Yeah, because I was going to say, there's no way that you can play the position without kind of handing the material back. We're going to castle. Probably a4, c4, anchor this bishop. And rook a5, I'm not so sure about that. I think we want to go here. And if takes, I think knight d2 and knight c4. And that will attack the rook on a5. Gain some tempo. We could even play knight d6, which would prevent castling, and I like that a lot. I definitely like that. It looks evil. Bishop takes is there. But I think as long as we keep this bishop preventing castling, I think we're on to something. Question is just how we do that. So here allows knight d5, which makes me think bishop a3. If the knight goes to d5, we have e4 as well. Okay, knight c4. Is the guy achieving castling? Almost looks like it. But I'm hell-bent on preventing it. So how are we going to do that? Queen a4. That looks like a good move. I think we're going to play queen b3 because we must keep the dream alive. Queen takes b4 also prevents castling. Let's see if it works. We could take this one. I don't know if there's any merit to that. I actually think that there is, because we have queen c6 and oh, I was going to say and takes. So not fully guaranteed. I think with knight e5 there will be some stuff, but yeah, I realized there is king e7 technically. Thought that this was the end of the game, I'm not gonna lie. But King e7 does defend everything. Kind of a funny move, and queen here doesn't help. So this must be a knight e5 moment, or perhaps e4. E4 is another one. Let's think. E4 could be quite good. Yeah, I am kind of liking the e4 idea. But again, knight e5 is pretty reliable. Let's go for e4. I did think queen c6 was the end of the game. I was like, oh, nice fork, but using the rook on h8 is a defender. Let's see here. Is this knight e5? What do we do? Almost start to think about this. See, knight e5 is a bit sketchy because, you know, the king can kind of get out of trouble as well. We do have a rook a7 move. Feeling like there should be something here. Something for the good guys. I would say maybe king... No, king f6. Could try king f6. Actually, other than king f6, really, what do you do? Pawn f6 definitely can't be right. It seems like rook a7 is available. So I believe that this is the right idea. Now, as tempting as this is, I'm not really sure that it works. So we might have to... I guess this one. Yeah, probably the best. Trying to keep the queen on to go for mate, but I think queen d7 is pretty good. We're threatening this, and yeah, I do think you need to take that. Probably come back. Now rook a7. Both of these lead to trouble. I mean, we have this. What a funny looking position. I think we're getting some sort of checkmate here. Very funny looking position. But none of these pawn moves seem to help. And all of the pieces are offside. GG. There we go. Funny mate there. Yeah, we really went all in on preventing castling. The concern was, I thought this was game over, like actually game over, but not quite. Here, knight c7 was probably the right move. Definitely some problems in the opening. What was it? Okay, I remember now. He pre-moved c5. It's just funny that b4 is the move that makes the c5 pre-move no good. There's no other move that makes c5 a bad pre-move except this. So it's happened probably, I don't know, what, five times or something. So I don't know that the benefit is super high, but it's there for sure. All right, bishop b2. Knight c6, no pawns out at all. So this move, you think you have this move back, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna play c4 to stop that, and then a3. Yet again, 1600s, still hanging pieces. Taking this when I'm already up a piece is just not very relevant. We're looking for piece trades, not trying to just win pawns. So now that we've eliminated. Oh, okay. Well, that with the queen is far more dangerous. This is a pretty serious move here. I think we can probably go knight e5 here. And I mean, we'll see if he wants to offer a queen trade, but bishop e2. Yeah, he does. But this is obviously just a very easy win. And not something we really need to think more about. Well, we just have an extra piece here. Well, not a very difficult one, but of course, just from the opening, we've seen this trick before, playing b4, b5. It really is not too common that black plays knight c6, and there we go. But it's just freebies. Like the knight can't go in the middle, so they go here, and sometimes they've already played d5, they just lose a knight. But before we play a3 and chase the knight, just play c4 and you win the knight outright. This happens way too often. This is 1600 here. And we're just, I mean, it's basically freelo. All right, b4 and bishop b2, most likely. We'll see if we get any move like that. Oh, okay. Very unusual. Knight c6 won't work out. e5 won't work out, so this is already it's already a little concerning, and I think we can just take it. Let's have a look. Bishop takes, perhaps knight c6. Knight takes, perhaps e5. So we need to think about how we're going to do this. It feels like this is the move then, and here there is knight d5, but in that position, yeah, we can play b5, for example, and looks like we'll be able to do it now. This queen development seems to help me. We can win a pawn here, but just feels like isn't there more important stuff to do, you know? Maybe not. More that I look at it, I'm like, nah, you know, that extra pawn's pretty meaningful. A funny looking move, but you know, we get in and we get out. What can you say? This one, I think we might take just for the peace of mind, but we really don't want to. Like, I think we want to play d3 and get developed, etc., like that. And then e4. Yeah, it feels like e4. E4 is the way to go. Bishop e2. We're up 2 pawns here. This move does not appear to be doing anything. So we'll just chase him back. I kind of like this one. Don't think that you can take on g2 here. But maybe the queen goes to g4. Okay, perhaps yes. Let's castle. Pick with the knight. And well, you're getting very close to just being lost here. I understand we're kind of surviving by the skin of our teeth. I think this is a nice move. Bishop d6, there's an answer. And probably putting this knight on d5 is what we want. I still don't really think... Yeah, let's go here. Still don't really think there's a threat per se. Let's go like this. I really like the knight on d5. Very, very tempting. Very tempting. Very tempting because of exactly this, which is probably why we should have done it. I guess we'll throw check in. And I think we'll actually pre-move this because no matter if king d8 or king e7, I think this is where we want to be. Queen a7. Not even just queen a8, but queen a7 looks really good. Hang on to that. Here comes the queen, and it's not even for that move. It's actually to take on b6. I think that's my big idea here. Set up some knight e6 stuff. Now we do have this, which is a double check. Let's open things up as best we can. This looks pretty safe to pre-move because it is pinned. And there we go. GG. This was, in some ways, one of the worst openings. Okay, you didn't lose a piece, but losing your central pawn for free, we definitely take that. Then we get that pawn up to b5. Queen's being chased. Like, we were just collecting here. So, in some ways, this was really the easiest opening, but there's a whole other part of the game to play. Middle game, end game, time management blunders. So while it felt like everything was under control, you know, the game did continue for quite a while. Not a bad fight at all. We're at 1594. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of another episode of the 1v4 speedrun. I hope you found this as tricky and successful as I did in the series. And remember to subscribe to the chessbrah YouTube channel if you're not already, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when we drop our next upload.